Hello and welcome to Doing Okay. I'm Dan.
And I'm Keith.
And today we are having a state of the channel address. A fireside chat. I'm mixing my, not metaphors, but you know what I'm saying.
Presidential.
Yes.
It's a metaphor.
Okay, metaphors.
It's also just what it is.
Yes. So we're talking about the data. Like, what's going on with our channel? How have we done? Where are we at right now? A few months in, and by that I mean like almost a year. And
you know, a few months, a year, same thing.
yes, the same exact thing. So we're gonna talk about that, and we're gonna talk about what are we wanting to change, what's working, what's not working. We're gonna listen to you guys in the comments if you have things that you think are working, things you want more of, less of, all that jazz. So let's look at this here thing. So the reason we're doing this is because we hit a milestone.
Ooh, tell me about this milestone.
It's such a big deal. It's a pretty minor milestone, but it means a lot to me. So when we started this channel, we transformed a previous channel where we talked about Girl Meets World. And the maximum number of subscribers that channel ever had was 559. And then of course...
A nice even number, a nice round number.
Perfect, 559. Obviously, when we switched over, we lost some subscribers because, you know, people subscribed for a specific type of content. We stopped providing that kind of content. We knew that was going to happen, but we hoped that some people were fans of us by that point, which clearly some of them weren't, because I think the lowest we ever got was like 503 or something, right? We never went below 500.
Is that true?
Yeah, we never went below 500. Now, just in this past week, we hit 560 for the first time, and we're actually at 565 as of recording this.
That's pretty great.
Yes.
Now I can delete my 20 fake channels.
So yeah, so we're in the black. We're finally above where we started, and that's really cool. And so I wanted to talk, now that we're at that point, about like what's worked well. So I'm gonna read our top 10 videos. Maybe I'll have like the thumbnails fly in and all that.
And a quick disclaimer: some of these will be Girl Meets World. Because...
Well, I'm cutting out. I'm skipping those. Reading the top 10 Doing Okay videos. So our number one is the It Friends mashup video.
This is my baby project.
This is your baby project. You were so involved. This has 6.8K views, which is very
respectable.
Nice. Very respectable. Now, what do you think our number two is?
Number two, Doing Okay?
Yeah.
So I have to say, I did look like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I know that the Ghastly Grinner was up there somewhere. I don't remember.
Not
it was
number
like
two.
Number two.
Number two is Raven's Home Review.
Yeah.
So in the wheelhouse of the Girl Meets World stuff, that has 2K, 2.1.
And I mean, let's pause right now and just say like, just only Raven's Home, that commentary.
Yeah.
I don't think that it was like a terrible video.
Yeah, yeah.
But I really don't like
that's so high.
Yeah, I don't think that was a great video. That doesn't deserve to be that high.
Yeah, yeah.
We've put a lot more effort into videos that have seen a lot of views.
I mean, the thing is, so much views really depend upon, just honestly, the thumbnail and the title more than anything.
Well, the thumbnail, the title, and then the reason anyone's ever going to search for those things.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But I agree with you. Not one of our better videos, but a pretty solid thumbnail. I think we included both of our faces. We included the thing, and it was just obviously something that our audience was interested in.
You have the crossover. It was new, exciting, and then we had the audience from before that was like, hey, they're doing this again. So.
Then number three is Are You Afraid of the Dark? Ghastly Grinner at 1.8K. So that is, in a lot of ways, the one that I'm like the most happy with.
Right.
Because that is us as personality. Like I'm really happy the It video did so well, but this is us as personalities. This is a really nice set that we had where we had the backdrop and everything.
The Halloween, our Halloween videos, those are ones that I'm proud of.
Yeah, I agree.
We had a really nice backdrop, a black backdrop. We had the pumpkin. We left that up like all month. And it was just fun.
Yeah.
So that was 1 out of 3 Are You Afraid of the Dark videos we did. And that was the one that we picked because we found it as a number 1 on some online list. Yeah. So we went and we had 1 random episode. Yeah. 1 is the one we thought was the first episode.
Which we were wrong about.
Yeah, but that was because it was from a list. I don't know.
Yeah.
And then 1, I mean, when it came out when I was like 2. So then the other one was the top 1 spot on some online list. Yeah. So what's interesting is like when you find something like that and you do content on that, other people also find the same thing, and then they find your stuff.
And I do think it's something that I feel like the Grinner is something that kids who were really young when they saw it was like that left an impression of the scariness of the clown. So I think that helped too. The other videos did do okay.
Not to get too much off a sidetrack and talk about Ghastly Grinner. I thought that was probably not the better of the ones.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Or the scariest either.
Yeah, I know. But I can also understand why kids remember it as being scary. The next one is me and Olga. We talked about Rick and Morty versus BoJack Horseman. They have 1.8K. Again, I think both major properties. People care about that, and also people like pitting things against each other. In general, Pilot Wars type stuff did well for us.
Topical and antagonistic.
Yeah, exactly. I honestly think every single time we pitted a pilot versus a pilot, it got at least 200 views. So that's, I mean, you know, obviously not a huge number of views, but for us, it's vastly above average.
Right. For us, post Girl Meets World, generating our own whatever we feel like content.
Yeah. The next one is very recent. I just did the talk with Olga about the 100 Season 5 trailer coming out. That has 1.6K at this point. It's done very well with likes and everything too.
And so that's a quick burn, and that came up.
Yeah. So that's interesting because so we recorded we had us on like a webcam and we had the trailer. We did our first reactions, but then we also paused and went like frame by frame and talked about what we think's happening and all that stuff. So that came out pretty nice.
And is that so we talked a little bit of this before, but like reactions versus reviews. Yeah. People want to see reactions, like live reactions. I'm in front of the TV and I've got a camera. This is what's happening right now. And I mean, there's some validity to that, but I just feel like you're not going to get a good looking or good sounding video from that most of the time. And if you're going to have any intelligent dialogue, it's going to be after you've seen the whole thing
and you can digest it.
Yeah, you can think about it.
I don't know. I think in general people like people being surprised by things. It's just like the whole thing with like horror games and stuff. People like watching people freak out, like people seeing twists in shows and stuff. So like depending on the show,
difference with that though is when you're playing a horror game, you also are seeing the game. And not just somebody's face. Where like I'd say 90% of the time you're just seeing somebody's face in a low lit bedroom.
Yeah, I mean sometimes people have the actual show right on the bottom. But like, so yeah, this was kind of, I mean, we did have our faces and we did react to the trailer, but it's also like a 30-minute video where we like broke it down and talked about our thoughts for the season and stuff like that. The next one is a Runaways video. It was, I think, the second to last episode. A lot of shipping things happened in that one. So that has 977. And then we get into Everything Sucks territory, where everything sucks.
Now, here's, I think, some of the ones that I'm also very glad because I mean we had a lot of fun doing the Everything Sucks reviews.
Definitely. Now I feel bad for Keith because he's not in a lot of these videos.
That's okay.
Because the #1 Everything Sucks video is the only one you're not in. It's the one that I did by myself, which I'm gonna straight up say is the worst one.
Out of the ones that are doing well?
Yeah, I mean...
not all of them, but out of the ones that did well, you mean?
No, our
videos.
No, the worst Everything Sucks one that we did.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So we did 10 No Everything Sucks videos, and the only one that I did by myself is the one that's doing the best.
And the reason is very clear. It's the episode, it's the thumbnal.
Yeah.
It's the banana slug, and it's because...
There's the two girls together.
The 2 girls in the changing room.
Yeah.
Not what it sounds like, but it's the implication that people knew there was a lesbian storyline.
Yeah, exactly.
And it was the episode where like kind of started to like
things get intense.
Yeah, not intense, but it's where like it becomes more believable. In that episode.
Yeah. And the next one is the #1 Everything Sucks, like the first episode, the pilot review, which I thought was solid. Then the finale of Runaways. And then #10 is another one that the most recent video I just did, which was breaking down the 100 convention with Olga. Now we should also throw out the 100 views videos are kind of a cheat in a way because we have an ongoing podcast that I did an audio thing.
That's not cheating. That's just knowing your audience.
Yeah. My point being, I did a little recording being like, hey, check out our YouTube channel. And that is how we got a few of our more recent subscribers and stuff too. So that's where we're at. Some interesting things I want to point out. So first of all, is every single one involve television? I think everything, except for it.
Yeah, but even then that's movies.
Yeah, it's movies. Yeah, and actually Friends is technically
Right.
involved.
So then, yes, everything has
every
something to do with television.
Yeah, every single thing that did well involves television over 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody's like, oh,
I mean, not like we have short videos anyway.
Well, I should throw out with the exception of the It video.
Because that's a music video.
Yeah. But yes, everything's over 10 minutes. So we've done shorter videos than that, and they have not done as well.
Yeah, and I think it's like a weird back and forth, because if you ask somebody like 3-4 years ago, they would say, yeah, short videos is what, get the views, that's what you want to see. Now in post-apocalypse YouTube, people are like, gotta have 10-minute videos to get ads, which doesn't really apply to us right now anyways. But I think that people are now more expecting that you go to YouTube for looking for at least 10 minutes of content.
Yeah.
I think that sort of like, even though we're not getting ads on that, people who will watch YouTube are used to 10-minute videos.
Yeah. Well, it's not even just that it's... So, I mean, 10 minutes is the threshold, but most of these are more than that.
Right.
Like, most of these are around... I'd say the average is actually
probably a half hour.
Probably closer to 20 around 20 minutes. So, like...
Long form discussion.
So, like, we can do our podcast type stuff, and as long as the content is something people are looking for, it doesn't necessarily matter. Now, something we talked about before we were on air is we were like, okay, so TV shows... And also not just TV shows, but also things that are current, current. So obviously, like it did as well as it did when not even like it actually did the best when it came to Blu-ray, like when it was out of theaters.
A reason for somebody to search for it. That's a real accomplishment.
Obviously, Everything Sucks did very well because it had just hit Netflix. The 100 stuff we got, like the trailer came out like Wednesday, and we got the video out Thursday. Like.
And so a couple things to that end. First thing is talking about like the currency of that. The Oscars one we did. I think that was a really great video. Had we done it 1 week sooner, I'm sure it would have done so much better. We did it on the night before the Oscars.
No, the night we recorded it on. We filmed it. Not filmed. We didn't do either of the thing. We edited it on the night of the Oscars.
Before the Oscars. So that when we were doing it, we didn't know who won. But by the time we had it finished, like it had ready to go, then we knew who won. And then we did it the next morning, so you still had this sort of like the water cooler buzz of like, oh.
Well, the thing is, it did solidly on its first. It got like 150 views in the first day, but the problem is nobody cares about the Oscars after the day directly after the Oscars.
Right.
So it didn't like. It's not like it kept going. Whereas if we'd done it like a week earlier, people are thinking about the movies, and then once the actual Oscars happened, it would have had another jump. But so yeah, timeliness is important. I mean, also similarly. Like our Let's Plays have not done very well, but our best viewed Let's Play at 130 views is Celeste, which I got out the day after it hit stores. So that, that's important to know.
And some of those things, was that like a little bit more of an indie game?
Yeah.
And that's like, who knows, it's like Okja that you had. It's like, who knows with that? Like, it depends on like, are there people looking for this? Are they going to find this video? There's it's such an oversaturated thing to do Let's Plays. And we have fun, but like realistically,
they're not.
Are we going to continue to do that for fun, but not for profit? Not for any gains for viewers.
The problem with the videos is when we do well, then I'm like, well, we have to follow it up with another thing that will do well. Like and then I'm like, because I don't want to like do
backtrack.
I don't want to go backwards. And so like I like doing the Let's Plays, but it's kind of hard to. Oh, I started playing the video.
One of our videos?
Yeah.
Which video?
I think it was a Runaways thing. The other thing that I think is noteworthy in a sad way, and something that we should probably see if we can try to plan for, our most cinematic videos have never broken 100 views.
And so you're talking about just a movie or Dewey Kazooie.
Or even like when we did SNPs and stuff, I think our best viewed video that I think had any sort of like cinematic quality was the original SNP, which got like 83 views.
And also maybe technically counting the channel intro video. It's kind of...
and I if you want to count also the fads video, because we did film some interesting B-roll and stuff, that got over 100. But I mean, I think we have to find a way, because I like doing podcasts and stuff, and I think we're certainly getting better at the quality of our lighting and our camera stuff and all that stuff. But I'd like to find a way to make something marketable that is of a higher caliber, whether that be making interesting looking vlogs where we have a topic that's better, or whether we even just do podcasts but do them you know, a more interesting introduction or more interesting location, something to that
so
effect.
well, let's talk about that. So intros, right?
Yeah.
So when we were doing the Everything Sucks videos, one of the things that we really want to do is let's have some quick intro that we put some small amount of effort, but like it is a thoughtful thing that we put in.
Yeah.
Like the green screen jacket.
Which was awesome.
That was awesome. So like I'm so glad that I happened to purchase like the week before an avocado green rain jacket.
Yeah.
I mean, how fortuitous is that? Like, you know?
Yeah.
It was perfect for that. And so I think that those went a long way. Just like when we were doing the goodbye to the basement where we had like a box closing. That was a great, like little things like that. I definitely want to keep doing more. It's that little effort that we didn't even do in this one video. We'll have in there. And then also to jump back to like talking about like how we were starting. One of the biggest things we were like, we can't keep podcasting. No one's going to watch these. And at the end of the day, that is the one that people are watching. So that's a good, I guess, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's just, I think the problem is it's like what kinds of podcasts work. And I mean, the other thing we kind of skipped over, I wanted to jump back to, is we talked about how timely things work, but timely movies don't.
Right.
Unless it's like, DoingOK was the most successful thing, but like any big blockbuster that we talked about was not successful.
Right.
Even when I thought maybe I did a video right after Justice League came out talking about, and it was only like a 6-minute video or something, talking about how I think it was good for like a good kids movie, but it wasn't good for anything. And I was like, this is like has like a take. It's not just a Justice League review. I was like, maybe this will do okay. And that didn't do well either. So.
And the reasons? The
reasons, I guess, would be that there are so many other people talking about these things, and you can just, if you want to just know how Justice League is, you can just go on Rotten Tomatoes. I think TV shows have a more intense fandom, and they're more likely to just be like, I want to see people talking about this thing. I'll just search it, you know? Whereas if you're interested in what people thought about Spider-Man, you probably have a specific person that you already care about watching.
Whereas that's very important because you have Rotten Tomatoes. There's probably something like that for TVs, but nobody cares that much for it.
Well, I actually technically think Rotten Tomatoes does follow television shows.
Probably, but nobody cares about it for that reason. And then once you have a movie, you either have seen it or you haven't. But a TV show is something that like you spend more time with. So not only is it like a different kind of fandom, and like the way the fandom interacts with the media is different. So you can have a favorite TV show is more meaningful than having a favorite movie, I think, in that sense.
I also think there's something to be said about like, if you're making a video about a TV show, it's probably because you overall like it, right? Like you have some affinity for it.
Enough to...
like whereas
let's not get into Gomez World too much.
But whereas like, you know, I could just be doing a Justice League video because it's something people are talking about right now and I could hate it. You know, like, so...
Like a top 10s type video, which is like, I have a topic, this is what's popular. By the way, let's do that because... You know.
Well, so we should talk about lists, because that was the whole thing when the podcasts weren't doing that well. I was like, let's do these 5x5s. They're quick. They're list videos. The best one we have, I think, unless I'm trying to look at what the one you did. You did one about Boy Meets World Halloweens, right? That's the best one. Has 130 views.
That was an okayish video. Like, you know, that's kind of old. Like, you know, we don't really expect much.
And the second best is the first one I ever did, which was top 5 underrated TV shows. So we've tried to dabble in these.
So the thing about those lists is like, those are a little bit too like... Specific, but like it's specific in a specific way. You know what I mean? Usually it's either broader or more topical somehow. You know, if we did like a... top 5 reasons to go and see this or something like that. Even though it's probably going to be a worse video, it'll probably do better. Or if we did like a, I don't know, even to some extent, if we did like a top 10 chicken nuggets video, you know what I mean? Like something like that. Like that's the kind of thing that people click because it's like, well, I don't know.
What are the top 10 chicken nuggets? My stomach wants to know. All right, so I definitely think brainstorming list videos is a very good idea for us. And I also think, I mean, looking at a topic that we want to do, being like, okay, how is this best served? Is it best served by breaking it into some sort of top 10 video? Is it best served doing a long form podcast? Is it best served doing some sort of funky vlog where we're walking around while we talk about it?
Interviewing people.
Yeah. I think that's certainly important. Now, I want to throw out two videos that I was happy, like surprised to see how well they did in the long run. One is the Kids WB video, which, was a 35-minute video. It was mostly a podcast, and this was around when I was like, should we be doing podcasts like this? Maybe if we did this as a top 5 video, would have done better.
Right.
Maybe it would have. We still don't know that answer. Right. But it got up to 250 views, slowly but surely. And I think I really did like that video. I brought a lot of B-roll in. So the fact that we can do these nostalgia things and that still is a viable option, I am happy about.
To a degree, anyways. Yeah.
To me, anything that breaks 100 views is worth looking at again. The other one that I'm surprised about is that this "Will Fans Ever Shut Up About Lara Croft's Boobs" video. Which, obviously, nice title for getting people in there.
Yeah.
But it got up to 260 views, and it was an interesting one because for a very long time it only had like 80, and then it slowly just got more.
You had some weird comments on it too, right?
I did. People were very angry, which is part of why I made the title what I made the title. But that is what the video is about, though. I don't know if you ever ended up watching that.
I did, yeah.
Yeah. And I thought about doing some sort of follow-up on that, which I'm having trouble exactly putting into words what I want the topic to be, but I want something that's sort of like, because the most legitimate argument that I've seen about we can talk about the actress playing Lara Croft's boobs because Lara Croft sex appeal is innate to the character, it's core to the character, and without the sex appeal it's not the same character.
As if you're comparing it to Catwoman or something like that.
So that was something I wanted to talk about, is characters who their sexuality or hypersexuality is core to the character, whether that's ever okay and whether that makes the character lesser in some way, or whether we think that there are characters who it's core to their character and that's a good thing and that empowers the character.
It definitely depends, and it also depends on the history of the character.
Yeah.
So especially when you're talking about comic book or video game characters, that is probably an example of the lower part of the gray area.
Yeah.
Where it's okay, that might be part of the character, but it's part of the character for a certain reason, which is it's aimed for 12-year-old boys.
Exactly.
You know, and that.
And that it didn't have a female audience in mind when creating it either.
Right.
But I think there is some nuance there, and there even for the comic book stuff, all the Batman female villains, it's they're evoking femme fatales, which is a certain, so I don't know. There's a more complicated. I do think there's a video there that I'd like to talk about at some point.
And I mean, definitely just to quickly put some things out, I think that Harley Quinn is a better example, or at least in the animated what I'm calling Harley Quinn, than that Catwoman, because Catwoman is sort of the classic reason. I think Harley Quinn is a little bit more knowing, maybe not all the way.
Yeah.
But you might also have another character who's in a modern TV show or movie that is hypersexualized, but it's done exclusively knowingly. Yeah. And then it's not a problem at all if done correctly.
Okay, I don't know what else we want to talk about specifically with the state of the channel. I did want to mention, what do we think? We set forth when we created this channel, our intro video is here are the 6 shows we're doing. And we're going to have, sometimes we're going to have SNPs, sometimes we're having Back in the Days. Do we think any of those are worth holding on to at this point?
Yes.
Okay.
SNPs will come back eventually.
Yeah.
They probably won't do well, but I am not willing to let those go.
Yeah.
Because they were pretty great.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
I think the important thing with SNP is that we find a balance.
Yeah.
If we find a way to make SNPs that A, can be made faster, and B, if we have a topic that can maybe be a little bit more, if we did something about gun control or something, something that's at least a little bit eye-catching, and then but we're making it more interesting than just a podcast of us sitting there talking about it.
It's more marketable to what's going on as opposed to what we feel like we want to talk about today.
Yeah.
Which can be the same, but you have to have a level of success first for that to make a difference.
Now, should we just go through the shows? Like, do you think Back in the Day has a place? I think it could.
I think it could, yeah.
Yeah, and I really like that intro with your music and the visuals. And Sup, like, we've mostly dropped.
Sup is dropped because Sup sort of gets hybridized into other things. Yeah. Like, technically, this is a Sup, but it's not.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, we could put the Sup intro at the beginning if we wanted to, but...
I think we should put it, like, right now. Ready? All right. This became a Sup.
Yeah. So, like, Sups when we want to, if we feel like a video is worthy of putting it at the beginning, but I'm certainly not going out of my way to make Sups because they're not going to do well.
No.
The biggest question I have is definitional debate, because I actually think definitional debate is part of the thing that I'm the most proud of with this channel. And I think those videos are really good, but they're never going to break 100 views. I mean, the closest we got is like 85.
Yeah, and I agree. I have loved doing those. Yeah. It's like a double-edged blade. You build up the base that wants to watch it, even though it's not really building up.
Yeah.
Or even if you do other things and you build up a separate base, once you start switching over that, people don't want to see that. It's a tricky thing.
Well, I think the other thing is I think it's all about titling with those, and you have to come up with a catchy title, because the ones that did get more buzz and stuff were things like "Does Gender Matter?" "Is mansplaining a sexist?" Like, these are titles as opposed to just being like, we're talking about gender. Those are titles that sort of drew people in more, and actually the morality of profanity did better than I would have expected too. Now again, none of these are breaking 100 views, but they're not the lowest of our low. Like, I would still say generally we average about like 80 views or less than that.
So then like, the short answer is yes, continue them, but they get marketed differently. Yeah. As simple as that, you know.
And I think less frequent is the other. Maybe once a month, maybe once every 2 months is the idea there. You know, and I also think it's when a word comes up that we're interested in talking about. Like, I do think that maybe around July 4th doing patriotism would be an interesting thing and stuff like that.
Yeah, and that's actually one we already discussed, you know, before.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what do we want to leave the 3 people that watch this video? Do we want to say, like, here's 2 videos we wish did better? If you haven't seen it, watch it?
That would be nice, yeah. Untold Tales of the Untold is my favorite video that's done terribly.
It is definitely up there. I mean, that and Just a Movie. And I think Untold Tales of the Untold is more marketable by far than Just a Movie. Yeah. But what I really liked about Just a Movie is the fact that we did the music to it after we had the video. So we just... So, I mean, let's back up. Those are both like kind of joke cinematic type videos. Just a Movie is something that I was testing the microphone, which is funny because we didn't end up using any audio or barely any. I happened to be testing the audio, specifically the wind muff on the Rode mic, and I was just walking around at night. We were just testing it. I was like, "Oh, how's the audio?" And then we took those, cut it together, and just did music composed on MIDI keyboard. And then we had this like weird little
serial killer movie thing.
It wasn't even like, it was more like a movie preview. Right? It was like a preview to like a movie that you might see like on the Sci-Fi Channel from the 50s or something. You know.
It was great. And then Untold Tales of the Untold is my acting debut as Dewey Kazooie. Where I was a not private investigator, a paranormal investigator. And I was, you know, I found some crazy shit that night. That's all I can say. And that's something we should mention. I really do want to do another one of those.
Oh, yeah.
I have a lot of ideas, actually. I was thinking about bringing in one of the girls, having her be Donna Kazooie, and she's like a replacement. She's like my sister who replaces me, and then I haunt her.
Your sister cousin?
Yeah. I haunt her as the dead Dewey Kazooie.
Oh, don't kill Dewey up too fast. Come on, you gotta...
We had so many ideas, and I feel like, I don't know how to market those, but I really enjoyed them.
I mean, if we did a channel of just those, after a year, you have to know they would kick in, but we just can't have the resources to do that and drop everything else.
Once a month, guys, once a month.
They were pretty great.
I think that one of our next steps needs to be redoing the intro video for the channel.
Yeah. Rebranding.
Yeah, rebranding. What is our channel? What are we aiming for? What are you looking for? What's our schedule? All that stuff.
What is our schedule?
2 videos.
Like 2 videos a week, and we've done a couple different things, but I mean, obviously, I unfortunately have been crazy busy at work, and I wish I could help out more on the channel, but it just, sucks when you are not doing this for a job.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching. Again, I'm Dan.
I'm Keith.
And until next time,
we hope you're doing okay.